Welcome back, everybody. If you're new, my name's Nicholas, and this is Investing Against the Grain. If you can't tell, I got my glasses on today. And the reason is we're going to be looking into some innovation where Ford is actually ahead of Tesla on. Okay, and this is one of the main reasons why people are excited and choosing to go with the Ford Lightning. All right, so that's what this whole video is going to be about today. We're going to watch an interview with the VP of Americas for Ford, and we're going to look into this extreme, groundbreaking, revolutionary innovation that will set Ford apart from Tesla and everybody else. Now, before we get into that, today is Friday. Today is supposed to be the release of FSD Beta 10.1, which comes with the button. However, it also may not come out tonight. Keep in mind, we do not have clarity on whether it's going to come out today as in Friday, or the following Friday. And the confusion really there is because of when Elon Musk tweeted about this. So he tweeted it, I believe, late last Thursday or maybe even into Friday morning. And so the timing just seems, it's just hard to tell. The majority of people out there seem to think that it's going to come out tonight. So I'll be up all night to check that out and see if it comes out, and I'll let you guys know. All right, so without further ado, do us a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that bell, and let's go ahead and check out this interview and this amazing new innovation by Ford.
Ford unveiled its all-electric F-150 Lightning back in May, and now the first models are rolling off the factory line today for road testing. The pickup isn't on sale till next spring, but there are already 150,000 pre-orders.
Wow, 150,000 pre-orders already for the Ford F-150 Lightning? That's a lot. Man, I wonder what Tesla has. Oh, that's a little bit more than 150,000. That's kind of, okay, let's move on.
And Ford is investing an additional $250 million on top of the nearly $8 billion it's already put into its Michigan facilities, and adding 450 more manufacturing jobs across the state to keep up with demand. Joining me now from Ford's Rouge Electric Vehicle Center in Dearborn, Michigan is Kumar Galhotra. He's Ford President of the Americas and International Markets Group. Kumar, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So this vehicle is perhaps the most significant electric vehicle yet to the U.S. market.
Did she just say that? This vehicle is potentially the most significant electric vehicle to the U.S. market yet. I don't think they've heard of something called the Model 3 or the Model Y. Those were the most significant vehicles to the market. Those are the vehicles that have now every single auto manufacturer out there converting to electric vehicles. So not really sure what she's saying here, but let's move on.
Because I can't imagine you're aiming to compete directly with Tesla's Cybertruck.
I can't imagine they're competing against Tesla's Cybertruck either. That's a very good point. That'd be insane.
You probably see those customers as very different. Theirs probably appealing more to general fans of electric vehicles, and yours may be appealing to fans of the F-150 who are on the fence about going electric. Do you think this car will win them over?
I love how he has this like this laugh of like, oh my goodness, they're already asking me questions about Tesla. I wasn't expecting this already. It's just it's a funny laugh. Like it's almost like he was expecting this, but he didn't expect it that quickly. But she does make a good point. The F-150 does have a pretty loyal following, and people who, you know, maybe they don't like the aesthetic of the Cybertruck, or they're just old school and they like the look of the F-150, it is a good option. I mean, my neighbor reserved a F-150 Lightning, so I mean, I get it. It makes sense, and frankly, I do think the F-150 is a good looking truck. It's my favorite out of all the traditional trucks, so yeah, it makes sense. But this laugh is laughable.
Well, it is one of our most iconic products. It's one of the most iconic trucks, period. And our initial research, first of all, with the customers showed that they were really looking forward to a vehicle like this. Then, as you said, we introduced the vehicle about exactly a year ago and started taking orders, and the orders have never stopped rolling in. We now have over 150,000 orders.
Again, I say, wow, 150,000 orders. That's a lot, but when you look at the Cybertruck, yeah, it's not really much compared to that now, is it?
And we are trying to break all the constraints as quickly as possible so that we can satisfy this demand. So really exciting time.
So tell us, broadly speaking, exactly how it'll work to own one of these vehicles. Normally pickup trucks have a pretty poor gas range. We're talking 10 to 15, maybe these days upwards of 20 miles per gallon. How far can the base and then sort of the top level trucks go on a single charge? How long does it take them to charge? And is it true you think that the truck battery itself can be a backup battery for powering the home?
So there were a lot of questions asked here. So one, she asked how far can the base battery go, right? Well, what's the total EPA range for the base? And then what's the top level do for the truck? And then she asked, how long will it take them to charge, right? The amount of time it takes to charge, I guess, from 0 to 100, and realistically should be like 10% to 80%. And then she asked if it's true that the truck can be a backup battery for charging the home. So let's see the answer to these questions. Let's see what he has to say. I mean, he is the VP of Americas after all, so I would imagine he has some answers.
Yeah, so the trucks will go over 300 miles for one charge. And one of the misconceptions about this is about charging electric vehicles is that it takes a long time. But the way to think about it is if you come home, park the car in your garage or the truck in your garage, plug it in, every morning you leave with a full tank or a virtual tank, a fully charged battery every morning. If you are going on a longer trip, we have one of the most extensive networks of charging stations in the country. You can stop and charge to about 80% in about 20 minutes. So the range anxiety really is not going to be a very significant issue for a vehicle like this.
First of all, excellent point, right? I think this is something that all of us, Tesla fans, Tesla investors have been, screaming at the top of our lungs for the longest time that the whole idea of range anxiety, is it real? Sure. But how much are you really driving in a daily basis? At the end of the day, every time you leave your garage, assuming you have a garage, you should be leaving at 100% of a full virtual tank, like he's saying, but or full 100% charge, right? Or close to 100% charge. Maybe you're at 95 or 90 to be conservative. But that's a valid point. There was a little bit of a disingenuous statement in his answer. So her first question was, what is the range for the base and for your extended battery? And if you look at their base, you can see it right here. Their base is actually not 300 EPA. Okay, it's actually substantially less than that. That's a little disingenuous in my opinion, but fair enough. I get it. Like he's VP of Americas. He's got to tote the line. He's got to say the right things. But it's interesting how he never addressed the charging your home from the truck. He just completely sidestepped that. Yet that's supposed to be one of the pillars of the Ford Lightning. I don't know if this means anything, if I'm reading too much into it, but it was just interesting that he sidestepped it. Maybe it's not something that's going to be ready out the gate. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's something that will be good to go. But either way, we'll see. Let's keep watching this interview.
There's also, I guess, questions about how strong, an electric truck like this can be in terms of its cargo and pulling capacity. Again, to bring up the Cybertruck, it is a heavier car. It's steel, I believe. Your frame is aluminum, but the specs seem somewhat comparable in terms of what they can do. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that at all, and also just speak about sort of how big you think the market for the electric F-150 can be, and if that means we should expect then the market for the traditional F-150 to obviously decline over time.
So let me jump in on this because I would love to elaborate on this for you. So first of all, as far as the Cybertruck and the F-150 Lightning being comparable, I'm going to put the specs right up here. If you want, pause this video, take a look at it, and you tell me how comparable you think those are. From what I can tell, and I'm pretty good at reading numbers, the Cybertruck essentially beats F-150 in every aspect, in every category. Okay, even the length of the bed. I don't think you can say these are really comparable. Just, maybe if the Lightning beat the Cybertruck in a few categories, that'd be one thing, but it doesn't. Okay, so then she goes off to ask a series of questions, which I thought was interesting. So she asked, obviously, about the comparison of the specs to the Cybertruck. We'll see if he even mentions Tesla or the Cybertruck. So far in this interview, he's completely avoided the name Tesla. He's completely avoided the Cybertruck, even though she has brought it up 3 times by now. We'll see what he responds with that. But then she also asked, how big of a market for the F-150 Lightning is there really? And then she goes on further to ask the question that we've all talked about, this whole Osborne effect. Okay, will this mean a decrease to the production of the traditional F-150? Okay, so these are some very fundamental questions that you would think the VP of America should be able to answer. Let's find out if he can.
Yeah, so first of all, in terms of pulling power and torque, the electric motors are fantastic at providing not only great torque, but an instantaneous torque. So not only is there a lot of torque available, which is very important to our customers, that torque is instantaneous, so it is a lot of fun to drive as well.
Okay, are you ready? This is it. This is what I was talking about. This is where the fundamental innovation from Ford, this is where Ford Lightning is potentially ahead of Tesla in the Cybertruck and everything they do. Okay, what he's about to say now, mind you, he didn't answer any of those other questions, but he's just going right into their main innovation, the thing that sets the Ford Lightning apart from everything else, the thing that will get Ford ahead of Tesla. That's what he's about to talk about now. I'm going to rewind this a second just so you can hear it from the very beginning.
One feature that our customers, and especially the very utilitarian customers in the truck segment, absolutely love is what we lovingly call the Frunk.
There it is. The Frunk. What they lovingly call the Frunk. This is it. This is the big thing. This is what they're going to have that's going to surpass them past Tesla, past the Cybertruck. The Frunk. Let's hear more about it. And if you don't know what it is, we're about to get an explanation.
Which is the front trunk, basically.
Right there. The front trunk. You probably didn't figure that out on your own, but we got the VP of Americas from Ford here to explain that to you. That the Frunk is the front trunk. Yeah, big brains over here at Ford. Yeah, let's hear more about this amazing innovation, the Frunk.
Gives you a lot of room to store stuff, your tools for the working customers, or 2 or 3 golf bags for the customers who are using it for more personal use. So the truck will be built Ford tough, and it will be incredibly capable.
Okay, well, there you have it, guys. I mean, like, mind you, we were asked about, whether or not there's a big market for the F-150 Lightning. She asked them if this would have an effect on traditional F-150 sales. And, the VP of Ford decided we're just going to go right into our main thing, the Frunk. Okay, if you didn't hear it there, listen again, go back. This thing is revolutionary. It can hold stuff, is what he said. It can hold stuff. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, damn, Nick, that's very ambiguous. What kind of stuff? Well, luckily, we had the vice president of Ford Americas on here, on this interview, on national television, to inform us that the type of stuff he's talking about are tools, are golf bags. This is the kind of thing that Tesla just doesn't get. They can't innovate fast enough to handle a Frunk that can hold stuff. This is why Ford will stand the test of time. This is why Ford will last for the next decade, okay? And if that wasn't enough for you, this Frunk will be built Ford tough. Don't forget about that, okay? That's patented, okay? That's why I have my glasses on today, okay? We have a brand new innovation, the Frunk. That's a front trunk for those of you who don't know. And it's got the Ford tough, built tough. I mean, this is just, I can't take this. This is too much at once. I mean, cool. Tesla's coming out of FSD beta 10.1 today. Yay, cool. The button. We're talking about a Frunk here. All jokes aside, obviously I'm messing around with everybody. Okay, clearly there's no innovation here. But it blew my mind when I watched this interview that the vice president, I know I've said this like a million times because I need to make sure you understand, this is the vice president of Americas for Ford. And he is choosing to come on here and talk about a Frunk. He's not talking about batteries. He's not talking about the chemistry they're using. He's not talking about drag coefficient. He's not talking about any of their Blues Clues, whatever they want for their ADAS system. They're not talking about how they're going to ramp up. They're not talking about scaling. They're not talking about range. They're not talking about any of these things. Okay, they're not talking about how they're innovating and taking things to the next level. They're not addressing anything that that matters, nothing technical. The closest thing he got to talking about technical is talking about how a motor has instantaneous torque. Well, yeah, okay, anybody with half a brain knows that, all right? It's a magnetic field, all right? You put electric currents into a magnet, boom, instantaneous torque. Yes, we all know this, okay? You don't have to be an electrical engineer to know this, right? This is some very fundamental stuff, and that's all he talks about. Talks about range, and he gets the number wrong, or, it's a little disingenuous, which, again, I get it. He's the vice president of Ford. Like, he has to tote the line. He has to say some things. Not only did he look bored in this interview, he looked ill-prepared. He didn't have the answers ready for these questions. They're not ready. Okay, this is the reason why I really do not think Ford's going to last this decade. He shifts the whole conversation from a potential technical question where he could have gone a little deeper, or at least talked about things they're working on that's innovating and, that has to do, they could have talked about the software within the vehicle. You hear Elon Musk, he's talking nonstop. He's spitting out equations. Elon Musk talking about how the vehicle is software, that it's just wheels and hardware, but the software is what matters. We're talking about releasing FSD. He's talking about different types of chemistries. We're talking about taking chipsets from microcontrollers and rewriting the firmware for them because of this chip shortage. Meanwhile, we have him talking about a Frunk. Are you kidding me? And all of the people out there, all the ICE believers, all the internal combustion engine people who might as well be classified with flat earthers, in my opinion, who think that this is not going to happen with electric vehicles. Like, are you serious right now? This is what you're working with. If I was an investor in Ford, if I was a Ford employee, I'd be embarrassed. This is embarrassing. Okay? This is not how we're going to get to a sustainable world. This is not how we're going to get more electric vehicles out there. And trust me, I don't care if Ford survives. I would rather they survive and they make more electric vehicles. One, because Tesla can't make every electric vehicle out there. Two, it would mean that we have a better presence, at least in North America, right? We should at least be able to make our own vehicles here, right? We see Volkswagen doing everything they're doing over in Europe. Stellantis, it's kind of a hybrid thing there. But we see the Chinese are just going crazy. It can't be Tesla's the only thing that North America has. We need these other companies to step it up. And this just doesn't cut it. Again, I know this is kind of a parody, joking type video today. It's Friday, so hopefully you guys didn't take me too serious today. I'm in a goofy mood. I've had like 3-4 cups of coffee. I was architecting this new build for this new data center that's gonna be a hybrid cloud thing, so I'm a little juiced up right now. I'm in a rare form, but this is the kind of stuff that just really, like, you look at people, and when they tell you, oh, the competition's coming, you just kind of look at them sideways and wonder, like, are you serious? Like, do you actually believe what you're saying, or you just don't know what you're talking about? All right, so we're gonna leave it there. Enough of my ranting here. Guys, today is Friday. Hopefully FSD 10.1 comes out. I'll be up all night. Look out for tweets and YouTube videos and everything. I'm sure people like Gali and Rob Maurer and other people are gonna have stuff out all night. So keep an eye out for that. It'll be exciting. And if not, you'll see stuff tomorrow morning. But we'll leave it there for today. As always, I release videos on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So don't forget. Also, don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and ringing that bell. It really helps this channel out, and more importantly, it gets these types of videos to a wider audience. If you're a Tesla fan, if you're a Tesla supporter, if you're a supporter of innovation, these types of videos help people see a different perspective and maybe gives them a chance to think a little differently or think in a way that maybe they wouldn't have before. All right, enjoy your weekend. I love you all. Peace.